Allegiance. Or not. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the agenda here before we approve it, 3 and 4 put to the end of the meeting.
How long is the other stuff gonna take?
Estimate transfers, not a lot.
Not very long.
Okay.
Because the first item was
You're here for 3 and
Because I'm here for 4 and I got
Yeah.
a laundry list of
other things to do.
things going on upstairs, so
Mhm.
that's fine.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go up, I guess we'd call you when we needed you.
If it's 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and adjusted agenda as presented.
A motion from Derby and second from Stenzer to approve the minutes and the adjusted agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye. Public Safety Center, and I guess they aren't coming, so we will.
Communication with them that they weren't coming.
Yeah, they did say that they said maybe one would come, but
Okay.
she said she highly doubted it.
Okay. All right, we'll go to number 5 then. Discussion for possible action regarding check writing and insurance for employees for mental health region.
So this is the fiscal agent discussion.
Yeah, there's a meeting on Thursday. One that I was thinking about going to.
It's in Des Moines or in Cedar Falls.
Waterloo, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Waterloo.
Yeah.
It's someplace.
The one you
It's
forwarded.
details.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it gets to
migraine, so I'm not
Just to
doing real well.
let you know what's going on here. The mental health region, that broad region organization, the fiscal agent has always been Butler County. And they get so much a check.
You get $11 a check. If they write a $4 check, they get $11 for doing it.
So there's been some complaints that they're entertaining the idea of somebody else doing it. So.
That's not a bad gig.
No.
It pays several days a week to do other things for the county.
And then the other part was insurance, carrying insurance for the mental health employees, right?
Well, we're going to have one employer of record or whatever. Instead of them, they're all going to be CSS employees now, and they're going to have the benefits, and everything is going to be done out of one county, which may also be the county that has the checkbook or whatever.
So would they be considered a county employee then?
They would be considered an employee of one county.
Okay. So they're not state employees?
So
or...
they can level the playing field as far as all the benefits and all that, which then I suggested we pick the county that has the cheapest benefits to save money. Doesn't seem like anybody want to bite on that, so I assume they want the county with the best benefits.
How many counties are in the
22.
22? So it rotate every 22 years?
No,
Or
no,
it
they
would
want
just-
to have it just be permanent.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
My guess would be is it's going to end up in Blackhawk County like the rest of our money does. So that's why we have taken steps to look at entertaining and creating our own region. In Cassuth County, I spent an hour on the phone yesterday with Roger Jargs, and he suggested that they would he's going to talk to the rest of the supervisors today, that they would probably be interested in joining us with that.
So that'd be 4 counties.
Yes, and there are 2 4-county regions now.
And there's one county region and
Polk County is one.
one 3-county region. And that would isolate Emmett County, who would have to make a decision which direction they go.
Yeah, if Cassup goes with us, then Ammett will not have a border touching anybody. They'll have to go with the West Region or whatever we do, which we could go with the West Region too. Make the decision.
Or we could go south to the central.
Yeah, we could join anything that touches one of our counties. Or we can stay where we're at. That's what's best.
So I guess one thing, I know I talked to Carl about, maybe it'd be good for the supervisors to discuss this because we have to address the claims on a weekly basis. Is that something we want to take on as claims on a weekly basis for this purpose? Right? Would we support her in her bid to do this?
Well, it's, I guess I would. Hopefully it would all end up saving us all money because right now a lot of our money, the 3-county region ends up taking care of mental health issues in other places. They've got one nursing home down in Waterloo that we give the better part of $2 million to a year, the region does. So that means we're all putting money in it, and we couldn't get one of our citizens in there if we wanted because it's completely full of people from down in that area, as it should be. And so why are we putting money in something that we can't use because it's... Well,
is there a spreadsheet or a report that we could look at to see what the flow of money is?
yes, they gave us one here a while back that was really complicated. I can see if I can find that. He stonewalled us on that for the better part of 2 years.
The biggest thing of this, the bids are, or the proposals are due
Yeah.
Monday. Next Monday they're due.
I never got the thing from Bob.
But they never did send it out.
They
Yeah.
did not send it.
Communication from the region hasn't been good.
See, he doesn't want very many counties to get it because he only wants just the chosen few to put their name in the hat. So it's,
I never got it.
And you requested it from him?
Well, Bill said he's,
I'm supposed to
Send it to everyone.
Up there on the car.
Maybe Ken should encourage the Ken
Which-
Abrams from Worth County is the chair. of the region.
Which if we are going to create our own region or go somewhere else, well, I mean,
I'd still like to make money off their region.
well, yeah, but I'm guessing that if we was to leave the region, we would surely not be picked. Bob's going to be here today, 11:30, yes.
So I guess if you get the information, I don't know how, you have.
Why, I'm not sure how we can make a decision if we don't have information to look at. You know,
Well, we're meeting
both of
on,
us are kind of flying blind on this.
yeah, we're meeting again on Friday, right? Maybe we could have it on that agenda again to discuss it, and maybe by then we can put some stuff together. I guess I would suggest that you personally contact Bob and request it, and if he still does not send it, then there's some serious problems.
All she said was that there was a meeting about this
well, I got this
in Waterloo.
on the 14th, so I got that.
Yeah, that's. the
But are they
one
two
that
separate
said-
issues? Is the one, the fiscal agent, also going to be the one, the county
An
record?
employer of record? That is possible.
Okay.
That might be what they're looking for, to have it all done in one county. I believe that's what it is.
Well, I guess I'd like to have it on Friday.
And the numbers you would like to see is what?
Well, how is this going to affect us if we get out of the group and form a smaller group? Who's going to be responsible for the I guess, logistics, whatever,
running it or whatever.
the administration of it.
When we were just the 3-county region, everything went through Winnebago County. So
But that other counties might not want that.
That's fine, but
And yeah, I'm just saying, at least I'm blind, and I know I didn't get to the meeting, I was in the hospital.
One of Donna out of Cassuth is one that's been brought up that possibly get the region going and be the Bob of our region as far as with assistance from Sandy. Sandy, now that she's approaching 50, thinks that she may not want to tackle that. She just wants to do what she is doing.
the other choice is if we can't get legislation done to start our own region, you have to have legislation.
There's a meeting, we're not gonna do anything until, there's a meeting on the 28th. The DHS is gonna come up and talk to us at Hancock on the 28th at 10 o'clock.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
No, it doesn't say a time. Oh, 10, yeah, 10.
So there can be more also discussed there. So it's just, what we're really doing is just drafting a letter that say that we have the intent to vote. We have to do that by November, and we may end up just staying where we're at too. So,
Or we could join another region
yes.
if they take us. Yeah, I've heard other regions that are happy with the way it's going. Yes.
Okay.
Stay tuned. You think you can find that?
Yeah, I'll check that. Sandy's got it. I'm sure. Okay. So, I go down and talk to her.
You can't until October.
What's that?
You can't until October.
Yeah. Donna was instructed that she cannot, Donna out of Cassuth County was instructed that she cannot talk to her supervisors.
Okay.
And she's not a CSFS employee until October. Still, she's now still a Cassuth County employee until then. So he's intimidated.
Now you know why we're frustrated.
And you can see the list of emails or actually text messages or whatever that Sandy gets from other people in the region that are scared. They're so happy that she stands up for their rights in front of Bob because they're all scared too.
Oh, we gotta talk.
Yeah, so Sandy,
It's gonna be interesting in the next month or two.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hope you do, because this was presented to the Globe, a year ago, and they wouldn't touch it. They said it's not interesting to our viewers.
If Carla is permitted to supply your cell phone numbers, then I will more than happily talk with each and every one of you.
Bob's gonna be here 11:30.
And I'm gonna be spinning CDs at that time frame, sorry. He conveniently schedules it when he knows the person won't be here.
Okay, well, I'll see if we can find out. Move on to auditor's office, we'll discuss drainage matters.
We have any, Chris?
I
You know,
can't think of anything.
Number 7, consider for approval pay estimate number 1 to Larson Contracting for DD 545217 lot 6 ditch.
Okay, so I have to figure out the amounts again because it's been changing about every day. They have a division for the county is 11,000, and then the DOT's portion is 51,000. So the DOT doesn't want to take out 10% retainage; they just want to pay their portion. So I have to figure out based on, they took out 10%, so I just have to do all the math to make sure that Hancock is just paying
Oh,
their portion, and then I'm gonna pay the whole DOT. The DOT is gonna reimburse us. They don't wanna reimburse two counties and all that kind of thing. So I will do the math, but that is the bill.
Are we doing the whole back of the DOT then?
Yes, yep.
for that.
Make a motion to approve the pay, estimate number 1 for Larson Contracting, DD 545217.6.
I'll second the motion.
Motion from Stender, second from Derby, to pay the pay estimate to Larson, pay estimate number 1 to Larson Contracting for DD 545217.6 ditch. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval pay estimate number 1 to Corey Jurgens Construction for DD 3937.
I haven't heard any updates on that one. I don't know how it's going. They got all the trees out.
I've heard of tree piles around the countryside, so they must have done some of it.
Yeah.
And I heard there was one spot where they didn't cut the trees for some reason. I don't know.
Well, they're only, clearing and grubbing is 40%. So, that was what he's doing.
I'll make a motion to approve pay estimate number 1 to Corey Jurgens Construction for DD 3937. All in favor, say aye.
I'll second it.
Oh, that just wait. Motion from Gentleman, second from Derby, to approve pay estimate number 1 to Corey Jurgens Construction for DD 3937. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval auditor's transfers.
Make a motion to approve those.
I'll second it.
Motion from Center and a second from Derby to approve auditor's transfers. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Open forum.
I got to listen to the city council meeting up in Elkerly last night. That was interesting. I was looking for the Twins game. They hired a forensic, or they're going to hire a forensic accountant to look into the viability of that.
To look into whether they're really losing money or not at the hospital as far as,
I share it with the county.
I saw that. And I thought that was an interesting term myself. Yes.
Yeah. That one would stand for 290%.
This one needs to be stamped September 5th.
I would like to make a suggestion, as long as we're in open forum. Yesterday, we had an incident in the parking lot where an employee's car was hit. There were no cameras out there, and I just think, and not just because of yesterday, but I just think it'd be a good idea to put cameras out there. We talk about security inside the building, but we're not doing anything as far as the perimeter of the building. And I think all the doors should be cameraed, and at the parking lot, there's things that go on at night up here in the parking lot. I just think it's a good idea to put some cameras out there. And they're not as expensive.
That way we would know who hit the employee's car.
Well, you would be able to go back on that, but, we had another accident, when, somebody was taking a test drive with DOT, or with Julie's office, and hit a car, and luckily we were there and we saw that happen, but again, it very easily could have been another hit and run, or it could have been somebody knocking over a little old lady or a little old man too, I just think that the camera system would.
Sometimes they just don't get out of your way quick enough.
That could be me out there getting hit.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
I just, the cameras aren't as expensive as they used to be, and the turnaround tape on the deals are, 30 days, 6 months, whatever,
I guess we could get an estimate from some who around here.
Barrett should probably put that together.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Get an estimate from him what the cost would be to, it isn't too bad, it's probably not a bad idea, I guess.
We can't action on this.
No, it's just
Yeah, no, I just wanted to throw it out there, something to think
making
about.
sure everybody, Mike, you think that's a good idea too, or?
If you had somebody that looked at it, you could have, you'd solve some of your Waldorf problems.
Yeah, you could, if you watch these kids get out of their car and walk over to Waldorf, you'd be able to know which car to put a ticket out. I mean,
I'm not gonna watch it.
That's not too far off, because at the college, we used to have kids, the high school was across the street. So the kids from the high school would park their cars in the college so they could look big. So we had a camera surveillance system throughout the entire parking lot. And boy, we had the Apache police down there just ticketing and towing like you wouldn't believe.
I'm guessing it was probably a Waldorf student yesterday. That's just my hunch.
But then you gotta have somebody monitoring it,
That's not that too difficult. You put it into somebody's office and sitting there in the corner, you just kind of glance up, you look, you see it, it happens. I'm not saying, I'm not.
Not gonna catch 100%.
No.
You're gonna catch 100% of the accidents because
You could always go back.
someone's gonna wanna see it, yeah.
It is highly entertaining though. So if there's graffiti on your wall or something like that, you can sit there and see that individual, who that individual is, and chances are that individual being the size of the town. So you can pretty well pin down what's going on.
There is a Dickinson car out there next to Adam's car right now. Walked over to Walmart.
But there's, like I said, it's also a security deal, we do all sorts of stuff on the inside, but not on the outside.
How many tickets have you given this week, guys?
I think 4 or 5, and it's all thanks to Julie's office.
This week, yeah?
Yeah,
Already?
because the girls, that window's right there, so if they happen to be up and out and look, it's been great. They have come over and set it, and we walk out with the ticket. Yep, it's perfect.
Yeah.
We didn't see it yesterday, though.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, then, anything else for open forum? We'll, move on to number 3, Scott Minders, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
Good morning. Brought you a couple of, each a map, I guess. This is a map I referred to last week, but I realized I hadn't given it to you. So I can just talk clockwise around the map if you'd like. And updating this is a list of our projects for this year and potential projects. C7N up on the state line is a project that we have completed. C28 is a project that we've just begun this week. That is the last box culvert for our own crews for this summer. Excuse me, last construction box culvert. We have one more small maintenance box culvert. And the reason I say that is because we differentiate between construction and maintenance for some of our accounting reporting. I won't go into too much detail on that. B31 is a project we completed early on in the summer. G7 down there by Rembrandt is a project we have completed already. H19 is the maintenance box culvert. I mentioned smaller box culvert, just replacing a small wooden and concrete box culvert. It's not a bridge right now. It's just an old culvert that's been there for some time. I-16 is one we lowered due to drainage district clean out. J2WX1 is the project that we have designed and bid, and we have a pre-con here coming up, but that project will hopefully begin right away in November. K23 is the one written in red there. That is a project we are considering completing this summer if we have enough time and the weather allows. And K32 is another project where we lowered a pipe due to the drainage ditch clean out. So big long list of projects this year, doing pretty well, keeping on schedule, and I've got a couple more to do yet. This takes up, we have kind of three sets of employees through the summer. We got truck drivers, we got guys that run maintainers, and we have a small project crew. And this list of projects is what has them busy most of the summer. Questions on any of those projects? Okay. As I mentioned, that C28 project starts today. Hopefully, a couple, 3 weeks, we have that one completed. Like I said, that's the one that has a transmission line that is right above it, so a little bit of coordination and jockey work to get that one in there. I mentioned Sunnyside Pit and the surrounding farmland having the lease terminated here recently. I talked to the Conservation Board yesterday. They seem receptive to the idea of managing the property. Would be quite a few details to work out at this point. The way I would see it is something to the effect of our department would buy the seed, they would seed it, they would take care of prescribed burns and mowing, that type of thing. We have decided to wait until, well, that is one option. The other option would be to go out for bids to rent the property just to farm. And that tenant would then either farm it or apply for CRP. Appears to be pretty good. Appears to be land that would qualify for CRP program if that program has the ability to take on more acres. And so I've asked Adam to look into what it would take to get a new tenant out there, what process that would be. So at this point, no decisions have been made, and we're continuing to look at those two options.
Why would you give it over to Robert if we can rent it out?
Like I said, last time our last tenant was paying $3,000 a year, which is not very much, and I think the time that it was bid out, they were the only bidders on it, and they live right there, so the convenience maybe was the only thing to get them to rent it, but we can certainly bid it first and see what happens.
I mean, not only are we losing, even if it's $500, are we losing revenue, but then we're adding the cost of maintaining it too, so.
Yep.
There's no programs that the county can participate in that would.
Most of the programs require a cooperating tenant, so CRP can't write checks to Winnebago County for being enrolled in a program. So we'd either find a tenant to farm it, or if they applied for CIP, the payments would run through them, and we'd work out whatever it was that was fair to everybody.
I would think you'd get better money if they knew they could do that, if it's available.
Yeah, so we're going to wait until I think October or November, when some of the farm bill information starts to roll out. At this point, CRP is closed and aren't taking applicants, so I think you're right that the more options on the table for any prospective tenant, the better. So we'll be a little bit patient there. In any case, if conservation became involved, or however that was, they can kind of take it at any point and possibly seed in the winter, some things like that. So we have a few months to decide. Last thing we would want is for it to be sitting barren in the spring, growing weeds. Let's see, rake elevator project that I spoke of a week or two ago, where they're boring a line under the road there. That project was complete. The private part of that continues, I believe. Last week too, in the later part of the week before, I'm not sure if I mentioned this one, but we have a large structure. It's basically a half pipe up toward rake, and it's 20 foot across, 10 foot tall. It's unlike, I think that we have 2 of them in the county, but unlike most of the structures we have, but it was failing, and we don't know what happened to it. It really is not supposed to do this, but kind of the top corner of the pipe had bent in like this, and the thing was about ready to crumble. So kind of clever solution by our guys, but they stuck a I-beam inside it and pulled on it with our excavators to kind of gain the shape back, and they put some bracing in it. Hopefully that'll buy some time. That bridge will be on our list to replace soon, and I call it D13W1, or we do. Just something to put in the back of your brain as we come up with our construction program for the next couple of years. For some reason, the footing on one side had moved. Pressure from the dirt had moved it or something. It was a goofy one. So as we kind of transition from gravel hauling to other operations, we'll have edge rut repairs here in the near future, and in between those operations, some of the guys are working on replacing signs and getting their equipment serviced and washed up really good, and that kind of thing, just catching up on whatever's been lacking. And the last thing I had for you guys, Terry, you asked about oil and grease a couple weeks ago. It's been maybe a month already, trying to wrap my mind around how to present that to you, but the county inventories about 20 different kinds of oils and grease, and so that includes transmission oil, engine oil, hydraulic fluid, coolant, you name it, and each piece of machinery requires a certain kind of oil, so we have a couple different kinds of each of those. We generally deal with Petroblend out of Mason City, and now K1 Excavating out of Thompson, and the reason that might sound kind of funny, but they were Kroll Oil some time ago, and the county has gotten oil through them for a long time, and they are about one property away, so as local as we can get. Our mechanics and Mark keep a close eye on those prices and shop around when they think they need to, and so just like anything else, if prices stay consistent, that's the goal. And if they go up by very much, then they ask questions and make sure that we're getting the best price, and that's really how we maintain our getting the best prices for our oils. We get kind of our basic transmission and engine oils from Kroll's, and some of the more specialized oils we get from Petroblend. my understanding that our mechanics have a good working relationship with them and have for some time, and they have very knowledgeable salesmen that can come up with the exact products that we need, provide a lot of assistance that way.
How much money is spent on, off the top of your head, you know?
I think our budget was 25,000 for oil and grease, and includes a couple of other fluids and things.
Anything else for Secretary Rhodes?
I mean,
Okay, then we'll move on to number 4, discussion and possible closed session to evaluate the professional competency of the county engineer under Iowa Code 21.5.1. That's what I was looking.
There's a cheat sheet. I think it says over here, right? At the bracket, right?
Okay. Got that one, so it is my understanding that Scott Wingers, our county engineer, requested this matter proceed in closed session. Is that correct, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, there will be a discussion of the professional competency of the county engineer, and Scott Minders, county engineer, requests a closed session for this discussion. I move that the discussion regarding the professional competency of the county engineer be made in closed session, as Scott Minders, county engineer, has made such a request.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion from Gensel, and a second from Derby, to go into closed session.
Roll call vote.
Yeah, you need to do roll call.
Okay,
Gensel.
Aye.
Derby.
Aye.
Spencer.
It has been moved to hold a closed session pursuant to Iowa Code Section 21.51I, and the members of the board have voted unanimously to hold the closed session. I ask that all persons other than the supervisors, county attorney, county engineer, and county auditor leave the room until we come into open session.
She needs to switch the tapes first, I think.